Deuteronomy chapter 3, verse 1. Next we turned and headed for the land of Bashan, where King Og and his entire army attacked us at Edrei. Verse 2. But the Lord told me, do not be afraid of him, for I have given you victory over Og and his entire army, and I will give you all his land. Treat him just as you treated King Sihon of the Amorites, who ruled in Heshbon. Verse 3. So the Lord our God handed King Og and all his people over to us, and we killed them all. Not a single person survived. Verse 4. We conquered all 60 of his towns, the entire Argob region in his kingdom of Bashan. Not a single town escaped our conquest. Verse 5. These towns were all fortified with high walls and barred gates. We also took many unwalled villages at the same time. Verse 6. We completely destroyed the kingdom of Bashan, just as we had destroyed King Sihon of Heshbon. We destroyed all the people in every town we conquered, men, women, and children alike. Verse 7. But we kept all the livestock for ourselves and took plunder from all the towns. Verse 8. So we took the land of the two Amorite claims, east of the Jordan River, all the way from Gog at Mount Hermon. Verse 9. Mount Hermon is called Sirion by the Sidonians, and the Amorites call it Sinai. Verse 10. We had now conquered all the cities on the plateau and all Gilead and Bashan, as far as the towns of Salika and Edrei, which were part of Og's kingdom in Bashan. Verse 11. King Og of Bashan was the last survivor of the giant Rephite. His bed was made of iron and was more than 13 feet long and 6 feet wide. It can still be seen in the Ammonite city of Rabbah. Verse 12. When we took possession of this land, I gave to the tribes of Reuben and Gad the territory beyond Aroi along the Gog, plus half of the hill country of Gilead with its towns. Verse 13. Then I gave the rest of Gilead and all of Bashan, Og's former kingdom, to the half-tribe of Manasseh. This entire Argob region of Bashan used to be known as the land of Rephite. Verse 14. Jai, a leader from the tribe of Manasseh, conquered the whole Argob region in Bashan, all the way to the border of the Geshurites and the Maccathites. Jai renamed these regions after himself, calling it the towns of Jai, as it is still known today. Verse 15. I gave Gilead to the clan of Maccai. Verse 16. But I also gave part of the Gilead to the tribes of Reuben and Gad. The area I gave them extended from the middle of the Gog in the south to the Jabbok River on the Ammonite frontier. Verse 17. They also received the Jordan Valley, all the way from the Sea of Galilee down to the Dead Sea, with the Jordan River serving as the western boundary, to the east were the slopes of Pisgah. Verse 18. At that time I gave this command to the tribes that will live east of the Jordan. Although the Lord your God has given you this land as your property, all your fighting men must cross the Jordan ahead of your Israelite relatives, armed and ready to assist them. Verse 19. Your wives, children, and numerous livestock, however, may stay behind in the towns I have given you. Verse 20. When the Lord has given security to the rest of the Israelites, as he has to you, and when they occupy the land the Lord your God is giving them across the Jordan River, then you may all return here to the land I have given you. Verse 21. At that time I gave Joshua this charge. You have seen for yourself everything the Lord your God has done to those two kings. He will do the same to all the kingdoms on the west side of the Jordan. Verse 22. Do not be afraid of the nations there, for the Lord your God will fight for you. Verse 23. At that time I pleaded with the Lord and said, verse 24, O sovereign Lord, You have only begun to show your greatness and strength of your hand to me, your servant. Is there any God in heaven or on earth who can perform such great and mighty deeds as you do? Verse 25. Please let me cross the Jordan to see the wonderful land on the other side, the beautiful hill country, and the Lebanon mountain. Verse 26. But the Lord was angry with me because of you, and he will not listen to me. That's enough, he declared. Speak of it no more. Verse 27. But go up to Pisgah Peak and look over the land in every direction. Take a good look, but you may not cross the Jordan River. Verse 28. Instead, commission Joshua and encourage and strengthen him, for he will lead the people across the Jordan. He will give them all the land you now see before you as their possession. Verse 29. So we stayed in the valley near Beth Peor.